into it, guys. Today, welcome to the Trapidemics channel. We're getting into Ilhan Omar, aka the Ill-Gotten Gains Omar, and her increase in wealth within the past few years. She's pretty much under investigation right now because I don't know if she just brought light to herself with this State of the Union situation she had going on. But people are now really on her ass about all the money she's been making in the past few years. Now, you may say, well, she's a politician. She may be doing some type of philanthropy, some type of charity, or there may be just some other benefits that she gets. But time and time again, we continue to see these politicians come into politics with a negative net worth, very little to maybe even negative, to within few years quadrupling, 10xing their wealth, usually on the behalf of taxpayers. And now we're finding out a lot of it's due to fraud. So let's get into a couple of these clips, see what's going on with Ilhan and this investigation.
You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
So immediately, Trump is in the State of the Union address. He's mentioning what's going on in Minnesota, Minneapolis, in her state specifically, where she's a congresswoman. And he's mentioning the fraud that's going on with the welfare fraud, a lot of these fake daycares being popped up, a lot of false businesses, like they're making ghost businesses, businesses that don't even exist, taking from funds that are usually that are actually due to Americans, like tax-paying citizens, for people that need homes, food. They're diverting all these funds and committing fraud, pretty much making ghost businesses and diverting legal funds that are supposed to be for people in need and siphoning that for themselves. So Trump is mentioning this situation happening in her state, and you see her just rambling, screaming out, cursing them out during the middle of this.
And perhaps most importantly, I'm asking you to approve the Save America Act.
So let's get into the Save America Act. A lot of people are complaining about the Save America Act, which is just simply we need ID to vote. At this point, with all the illegal migration that's been happening, all the illegals in the country, the next election, all these upcoming elections, we're going to have to need ID because there's no way that you can track who can go in. Anybody from anywhere can go in and say, my name is Brad Smith, and get a vote. We need voter ID. Now, in New York City, they just had the big blizzard. So if we're having a blizzard in New York City and you need two IDs to be able to volunteer to shovel snow, well, not volunteer, they get paid, but you need two forms of ID just to shovel snow. Why can't we have a form of ID to vote? So people like Ilhan Omar are staunchly against this, obviously for their own personal reasons. So let me get into I'm gonna pull up a breakdown as to why and how Ilhan got all this money and why she's being investigated. Some people are like, "Oh, why are you guys harassing the cute Somali woman? What has she done? You know, it's just racism." But you have to understand behind these beautiful faces and smiles, these politicians are very slick and they know how to create shell corporations. So Let's break this down.
Closer. We saw a 3,500. How do you enter Congress with a negative net worth in 2019 and shoot up to a $30 million net worth just in 6 years? Let's ask Ilhan Omar. I expose how corrupt politicians are, so make sure you follow me. In 2019, Ilhan Omar was elected into Congress. She started her first year, and her financial disclosure for that year was a negative net worth. When this was first reported, she absolutely denied the fact that she's a millionaire. But then a couple months later, she filed her financial disclosure. We saw a 3,500 increase in net worth compared to the previous year. Now, members of the U.S. House of Representatives earn about an annual salary of $174,000. Even if she saved every penny from her salary from the last 6 years, it wouldn't be anywhere close to $30 million. So what did suddenly happen?
So, how do like this is, for example, you have your Nancy Pelosi's. It's kind of a funny meme now, but where's the joke? She was an inside trader. She was someone who was in Congress, who knew certain laws that were coming in the future, knew about certain industries that were going to be needed. So she was able to invest in these companies and create extreme generational wealth for herself, while her technically has no business savvy, nothing else going on outside besides now she's in politics. She knows pretty much everything, the ins and outs, so she can use that to her advantage. So let's continue so he can break down exactly what she did. This is a real scheme. Like they're locking regular citizens up immediately if you do something like this.
Oh, let's look at her husband's businesses, Tim Minette. Lon and her husband own two businesses, one of them being a winery and the other one being a venture capital firm. 2023, the value of the winery was roughly anywhere between 15,000 to 50,000. And just a year later, that same winery is now valued at anywhere between $1 million to $5 million. If you think that's a
So, it's like you're going from $15,000 net worth to $15 million net worth in 1 year. So it's like people are going to ask questions. Is this possible? Yes, this is America. You can sell that much, you can grow that much, but nine times out of 10, that takes years and years and years of trial and error for you to get there. It's not just overnight, especially something like a winery. This is like a generational, very inside type of industry where it's going to be hard for you to break through. How is she going from 15,000 to 15 million in 1 year? And let's say maybe some people will say, well, it's because a lot of people know her. She's Ilhan. Well, when was the last time you got a wine that was made by Ilhan Omar? And when was the last time you even heard of one?
suspicious, wait till you see this venture capital business. In 2023, the company had less than $1,000 in assets. Well, a year later, this venture capital that anyone can invest into is now valued at $5 million to $25 million. And what's even crazier is that the company claims to have $60 billion in assets under management. So Elon, please tell us, how does this happen? Is this just by luck, or is somebody or a foreign country perhaps funding this?
Hmm. Very interesting, especially when we get into, is there another country funding this? Or are these funds coming from maybe your people, your Minnesotians, your Minneapolis, all the fraud going on? Are you taking a page from their book and creating some type of shell company? And because you have knowledge of funds that need to go here, funds that need to go there, and you have power to do that, are you pushing that towards your own business? Well, these are the questions that people are asking. So
5 million.
let's get
Despite
into
that,
it.
Omar denied
We're going
being
to
a
look into a
millionaire. Earlier
more
this woman,
a
Ilhan Omar's
formal
net worth
investigation.
went up nearly $30 million. The question is how? Here's what we know. Omar's husband, a former political consultant, owns a venture capital firm based in Washington, D.C., and a winery in California. Take a look at these numbers. In 2023, Omar disclosed a maximum of $50,000 in assets at the winery. The next year, Dana, that number increased to $5 million. Meanwhile, her husband's company, Rose Lake Capital, reported a maximum of $1,000 in assets in 2023. The next year, it was $25 million. Despite that, Omar denied being a millionaire earlier this year, posting on X, quote, "I barely have thousands, let alone millions." House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer tells Fox News an investigation is underway, writing, quote, "The committee is working on addressing ethics concerns regarding Representative Omar and her spouse, and we hope to have an update soon."
Uh-oh.
But Omar says she's being targeted.
Ever since I've gotten to Congress, they have been doing these sort of weird ethics investigations. None of them have yielded anything because I have been as transparent as I can be.
Of course, others see it differently. Elon Musk says Omar committed fraud, while President Donald Trump posted on Truth Social, quote, "She should be in jail or even a worse punishment, sent back to Somalia."
Yo, W. Trump, man. She should be in jail or even worse punishment, sent back to Somalia. Trump is absolutely hilarious. But the thing is, Ilhan, ill-gotten gain Ilhan, if you truly have been transparent, we need you to explain those numbers. You don't go from $1,000 in assets to over 5 million, 25 million in assets. And the funny thing is of course, we know you can create corporations, LLCs, different things, and not your name so that we can't find it. So let's continue on.
Omar authored the Meals Act in 2020, which loosened oversight on food programs during COVID. Federal prosecutors say one of those programs, Feeding Our Future, stole $250 million through fake meal sites. We did reach out.
All right. And this is more like the kid, I think his name is Nick Shirley, him going out to Minnesota, looking up these LLCs and these corporations that they created and seeing if they actually exist. And when he goes to the address, it might be something completely different than what it was supposed to be. So this is a meals, a food funding, some type of food fund for people, $250 million stolen, diverted. And when you go investigate, like, okay, they're saying that all this food is going to go for what? Impoverished children. You go to the building, there's nothing there. It's just, electronics office, maybe a computer. Nobody's in there being fed. You ask the neighboring buildings, have you ever seen anyone being fed here? People, homeless people or poor people coming to receive some type of help? And the neighboring business say, we have never seen anyone. So be more
Out to
transparent.
Omar as part of this story, but so far we have not heard back, Dan.
It's more insanity going on X concerning Ilhan. We did have, I would say, a very interesting bomb interview, and I want you guys to check this out because Ilhan was kind of dodging it, but she really couldn't dodge her the way that the journalist pressed
Yeah,
her.
it is. And so a lot of people now
check
are
this
looking
out.
into that. Hi, Congresswoman Omar. You were just talking about how Trump's economy has failed the American people, but I think the American people really want to know how you went from a negative 65,000 before coming into Congress to over $30 million in just 7 years.
My disclosure is public now.
Yeah, it is. And so a lot of people now are looking into that and finding S. Crew Winery, a winery that doesn't actually seem to exist. Is that a real winery or?
Do you all actually look at and read things, or do you just ask silly questions?
Well, it's listed in the financial disclosure. So can you explain it? Because we have a lot of questions about it and things just aren't adding up. There's no real phone number. There's no real location.
Why did you want to buy some wine?
Probably not from you, to be honest.
There's no real phone number and there's no real location. What the heck is going on? Like, I bet you if we get Nick Shirley or Tyler Oliveria, one of these guys to investigate, and they go to the address of where this is supposed to be, let's say a vineyard, you need acres and acres and acres. I bet you it's probably just dead woods or just something crazy like that.
Recently stated that the American people should be afraid of the white man. They should be fearful of the white man.
I never said that.
Yeah, but you're on video saying it.
Our country should be more fearful of white man across our country.
I never said that. What are you talking about? Do more investigation. I never said that. 2 seconds later. Goodness gracious.
Because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. No, I did not.
Yes, you.
Again, this is like what I said. You need to
prepare yourself, because you can't continue embarrassing yourself like this.
So I'm just a liar.
What I was quoting was an actual study done by the FBI.
Okay.
And
Thank
so
you.
just prepare.
So you did say it? I don't know. Ilhan, ill-gotten gain, Ilhan. I'm feeling like you put this on yourself. The way you screamed during the State of the Union address, the way you behaved, it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And Trump was doubling down on all those things because you were screaming in the crowd. Now you have everyone looking into your funds, even though we should have been done that. Now the heat is really on you. It's kind of like a self inflicted wound. Do I have any more clips on this? Let's check it out. So I want to read this real quick. Trump says, when you watch low IQ Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib as they screamed uncontrollably last night at the very elegant State of the Union, such an important and beautiful event, they had the bulging, bloodshot eyes of crazy people, lunatics, mentally deranged, and sick who, frankly, look like they should be institutionalized. When people can behave like that and knowing that they are crooked and corrupt politicians so bad for our country, we should send them back from where they came as fast as possible. They can only damage the United States of America. They can do nothing to help it. They should actually get on a boat with Trump deranged Robert De Niro, another sick and demented person with, I believe, an extremely low IQ who has absolutely no idea what he's doing or saying, some of which is seriously criminal. Wow, be careful, De Niro. When I watched him break down in tears last night, much like a child would do, I love Trump, man. I realized that he may be even sicker than crazy Rosie O'Donnell, who is right now in Ireland trying to figure out how to come back into our beautiful United States after she left. The only difference between De Niro and Rosie is that she probably is somewhat smarter than him, which isn't saying much. The good news is that America is now bigger, better, richer, stronger than ever before, and is driving them absolutely crazy. President Donald J. Trump. Hilarious.
Find out why, because she's not unattractive. Um, it's she has an unusual amount and kind of anger. She has no right to that level of rage in the United States of America, the country who gave her corrupt ass a new life. It's not like she's a homeless Vietnam vet who can't get services and should be enraged at the government. She should be kissing the ground she walks on instead of spitting on it. And her anger is also reminds me of the radical who, given power, would destroy you. She would show no mercy for you if you were below her. Like the
Absolutely.
look on her face is somebody who would step on your neck instead of giving you a hand. And that is not the kind of person we should have in our leadership. It's not the type of person we should have in this country. And if we find out that she screwed up on her immigration stuff, she's got to go.
Yeah, she should be.
Ooh. Ilhan, that's what I'm trying to say. You are bringing the heat to you. These people are going to investigate. They've already questioned your marriage. They've questioned your citizenship years ago. So now that you've opened this can of worms, they're going to truly look into see, did you overstay any visas? Did you do anything like asylum fraud or something like that to get here, stay here? They're going to look into every single detail the same way that they looked into Elon Musk. Oh, he overstayed his visa. They're going to look into you, and you actually being in a seat of position in politics, you will definitely lose your job. So all this progressive liberal screaming and trying to force your way and talk your way and like social justice warrior way into, you know, some type of scheme for everyone to believe, especially just like the progressive followers you have, it's not beneficial for you. It's biting you in your ass. These people are 100% looking at your money, your citizenship, your marriage, how long you, everything that you've ever done, you've opened that up. So Ill-gotten Ilhan Omar, I wish you the best of luck. We're gonna leave out with that very clip when Trump was talking his
People
stuff.
out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens, in many cases, drug lords.
She says, "You have killed Americans." This guy has stopped like 6 wars. This guy stopped like 6 wars since what? Less than a year? About a year? You have killed Americans. Mama, the type of policies you support pull funds, food, housing, and critical resources from American people, which can result in actual killed Americans in the hospital, in the home, starving, elderly, medicine, things like that. These funds that your people and whether however you take when I say your people, because I'm talking either the state that you're in or Somalis, given a bad rap, that's not fair for the American citizen. And that's the number one reason why, this is happening to you.
Murderers all over our country. They're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
It's like you need to read the room. You don't hear those claps. You don't see the response to this. Understand what's going on, y'all. End of the day, man. This is Trapidemics, y'all. I want to see how you guys like this video. If you like it, definitely drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know what you think about ill-gotten gain, Ilhan Omar, and this investigation to her funds. Is she on some Nancy Pelosi type stuff? That's what I'm thinking, and I ain't feeling it. So let me know what's going on. Appreciate you watching.